Hey guys, welcome to the Crone Cottage. Back filming again, so this is cool. This time me, not just the yard. And nothing so much on the plate right at the moment, other than with the changing of the seasons, because we're in September now. And it definitely here, even though we're still got a few higher temperatures, we are sliding into autumn, which is kind of nice. The summer has been one of a lot of depression and fatigue, getting lost in my pain, and everything changes as continue to move forward with the big one where Dave moved in and getting adjusted, because like it's been 6 months now. March, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, it's been 6 months now that he's been living here, so there's been a lot of adjusting and things like that on the grief front. Still doing that, but handling some of it better. So got some good support people in my life now, not just one and two-ish. I have a bigger group. Definitely having Dave here is a beautiful distraction, and so that's a cool thing. So in my glass here is lemon water. Simon, thank you. Chasing monkey. So yeah, lemon water, and that's just lemonade mix in a big container of water with a lemon cut up and to soak in there. So I'm sniffing a bit because I use saline nasal spray to keep all of this kind of damp, moist. Otherwise it dries out in there and gives me headaches. Anyways, so Dave has kind of been, of course, Simon, thank you. Go play with somebody else and quit bothering your brother. Yeah, don't be mean to your little brother. You're so silly. Losing Kirk definitely was a big catalyst, and it's almost 2 years to the date that he officially passed away. For me, it's a different date because of all the stuff that's going on. But anyways, that was a big change. And then about back in December 2021 that's what, December, yeah, I met Dave. And so there was another change. So I've been just trying to roll with the changes. And as I've been doing that, there's been some ups and downs and some highs and low, lots, and some chaos and all that kind of stuff. But it's been good. The moving forward has been good. Hard, but good. Yes, continuing with the haven't brushed my hair yet today. Definitely growing it out. I would say it's at least twice as long as it was when I cut it back in February, I believe it was, which is good because I miss my long hair and I miss my curls and my waves and stuff. The short hair was good, but it served the purpose, which was to acknowledge change. And so I cut my hair off, and it was really great and freeing, but I do prefer long hair, so headed back that way. So on that note, with change and the changes in my life and the changes in the season, I think there's once again changes coming for the channel. another name change. Thank God I'm little ready at the moment, because that flip-flopping with name changes can really mess people up and create a chaos of its own. But not a lot of people, because it's not a word that's used a lot, know what crone is. There's another clip channel on here called The Crone Cottage with a different woman. And I think sometimes when stuff's popping up, it's very unclear as to what kind of channel this really is. So I'm going to spend the next little while trying to figure out what this channel does, so I can do a good write-up for it, so if somebody does check, they can actually see. Because it's really a little bit of this, that, and everything that I do and have going on in my life. So it's sort of not really a lifestyle vlog, but just sort of a vlog about my life and the things I do. So, well, maybe that is a lifestyle vlog. Who knows? But get that kind of organized. Get a name, the name that I was bouncing around in, I did go look up, and there were variations of the things, but not actually it on there. I think only one other person actually knows what I am doing, so if it gets swiped on me, in the meantime, it's not because I let it slip and somebody in internet world has gone, oh, that's cool, I want it too. And that kind of thing. Things to come up, like future videos, will be, I have decided, and I had forgotten because I decided this month ago, that I would share my journey through the mess better. I was doing that a while ago, just trying to show different ways I was trying to get organized and get on top of the stuff. I've since learned that I probably, not necessarily always good to self-diagnose, but a lot of the things I've been looking at are pointing at that I have complex PTSD, or shortened it's CPTSD, so complex post-traumatic stress disorder, from stuff in childhood. Now, if I feel up to it, I may talk about the stuff in my childhood, because sometimes the best therapy is the kind where you just tell your story. And I have a very big story to tell. It's not a unique story. It's just stuff that's happened to a lot of people, but it is my story. Some of it's good, some of it's bad, but complex PTSD comes from traumatic events that happen when you're a child. And I know I had a really traumatic event happen to me when I was very, very little. My mother told me about it. I have since had some memories pop up. They're not very clear. I was only about 1.5 years, maybe 2, I do believe, when the incident happened. So, but anyways, those kind of things do shape how we see the world, and then affects us as we grow up into adults, and then how that, how we deal with adulthood day to day. So yes, there are days I don't want to adult. You can take your adulting and shove it. There is a difference between being an adult and a grown-up, so maybe sometime in the future I'll talk about that too. But yes, I thought I would share my travels through getting the cottage into a way that is functioning and works, so that I can get the redecoration done and stuff. You can just see Bastian's ear in the corner of the camera. That's who I'm petting. Oh, there's Monkey. Oh no, chaos. Simon. Simon's still bullying Monkey some. It's not as bad as it has been, but he is still doing it. I should beat you to death, you silly boy. Should beat you. Ah! No, I don't beat my children. But anyways, yeah, I thought I would share that journey so it didn't feel quite so alone, and my thoughts on it and why I haven't let Dave touch things, or I put Rob off with helping me because I discovered some things regarding that, and that way we can share in my successes and failures together, and I won't feel so alone and get out of my head. Getting out of my head is a good thing. And then maybe I can get outside. Like I said, I can get some renos done, and I can get outside and do the yard the way I want, and, you know, and find some balance between me and my fatigue, etc., etc., etc. That's my favorite line from The King and I, is when the king says, etc., etc., etc. And so that'll be good to not do this alone. Some things that have been going on. Anyways, I have been doing some. I've also been doing some craft projects too as well. Not craft projects, I've been crocheting. I have been working on that knitted scarf. The change in the weather as it was floating back in August had me start wanting to finish that scarf I was working on. I've got something that potentially is coming up in a couple of years that I need a crochet, some sort of a dress or an outfit thingy for. So I'm practicing now, which means I'm working on the yarn that's in my stash, and that's good. So I will be sharing stuff with you as I go along. And I have some pictures that I took of stuff. I'm leaning against the cat stand here. Yeah. See, Mommy can use it too. Twins! With a Cleo in the background. Can you believe it? They're 3 years old now. The twins are 3 years old. Morgana and Bastion. It's like, wow. Teenagers already. Holy crap. And Monkey's over a year old now. And he's so big. He's so biggers. So yes, I have pictures of those. And I will continue to take pictures. And the pictures that I do have, I'll add at the end of this. Try to remember doing. Fatigue is this major thing that just kind of flubs up your brain. And yeah, so that's what's going on here. There's a lot going on here. Embracing change, wanting to gut the house, take everything out, and then just not have anything in here, and then just bring in just the stuff that we need. Dave has a very sort of contemporary minimalist style. He only likes to have exactly what he needs. Well, I have a different personality and a different needs and wants and stuff. What are you doing, Simon? Hello, sweetheart. And so my needs are a bit different. So I need more stuff. So it's a case of working together to get that done. And so all is good and all is wonderful, and it's absolutely, yeah. What are you doing? Oh, okay. Just playing up there. Bounce, bounce, bounce. See, there he is. Mommy's little man. But anyways, yeah, so yeah, just lots of stuff coming up, because over the next year, couple years, just because Dave being the biggest change in my modern times. I guess Kirk would have been my Middle Ages, and Rob was my is now my prehistory, you know, my pre-future, whatever you would call that. He's sort of the previous. Rob is my maiden, Kirk was my mother, and now Dave is my crone time. So I've had my maiden time, my mother time, and my crone time. Crone is just a word that has been badly used to describe women in their older stage of life. Usually it was wise women, and that kind of thing. It was just that last stage, the postmenopausal stage, where I am now sitting. So yes, definitely there's this moving forward, and I continue, like I said, I really want to continue to move forward with that instead of living in my grief. And I think the first year living in your grief is not too bad. It was in a lot of shock. It wasn't necessarily a bad thing for me that I was living in the past, because I was dealing with shock of what happened over his death. I can actually say words like he died and death without having panic attacks. I also, there goes the train. Choo choo choo. But yes, but now that I am finishing up the second year of grief, and I spent all last year not being in shock as much, it's easier to deal with the going through stuff. So there's going to be a lot of change, and I've told Dave that, you know, just be patient, just breathe, it's coming type things, because yeah, it is coming. Got through the hard thing, now the easier thing, and then the easy things come. So, but definitely do need to get things straightened up, because the clutter is not just driving him batty, the clutter is driving me nuts too as well. I am not a hoarder by nature. My mother was, and so shaking off her influence there. And yeah, I want to be able to find my stuff. I want to be able to look and go, yes, those are my favorite books. And yeah, I know I still have books in a box to read, but I want to be able to see my favorite books. Because it was good to find my Sword of Shannara books, and things like other books, like my Maeve Binchy books, and I have such an eclectic reading style, and just go from there. So yes, so he said change is coming. And I've talked with a very close friend, and she likes the name that I've got for the channel. It's going to reflect more on cottage, my ideas of cottage style for the yard and the house. I will be continuing with the Dort idea, which is the dollhouse fort, and adding aspects of whimsy into the house so that it feels fun in here, and alive. Excuse me. After having those 2 years of dealing with major sickness and 2 years of dealing with death, it would be very, very good to go the opposite direction. I don't have to I don't have to swing the pendulum all the way the other way, because that's not good. To bounce from one extreme to the next. So this time, this next year, I think, is going to be all about that middle place of dealing with feeling alive and moving forward and that kind of thing, because grief sucks, but it happened, but now it's time to move on. So one of the things I did with a little bit of money was I bought myself one of these camera things. I have not used it. I got it at the dollar store for like $6 with tax, Canadian. And it should help with lighting issues where when I'm filming at night, you know, I can have light on my face, then maybe I can film in other parts of the house and be lit in front instead of just here at the table in the living room, so that I'm backlit by that window. Planning some curtains for that window to make my life easier, because that blind drives me nuts. So that kind of thing. So September is change month. Is positive change month, forward change month. So I also got myself some stencils from Wish, and I will be showing you that later, and some black canvas from Michaels. So I'm entertaining what I can and cannot do artistically, based on having migraines and massive fatigue, because anything that's in here, between allergies and jaw issues and neck issues and potentially anything else that might be going on in the old brain casing up here, health-wise, it makes it hard to write, it makes it hard to crochet, it makes it hard to like paint, to concentrate on being creative. And I absolutely miss that, because I'm so tired all the time. I have a lot of fatigue and I can't concentrate. It's part of the reason why the mess is still all here in some respects, because I have been willing, and then I get up and I start moving and have some food, and boom, I'm done. Been done for the day. So so I'm hoping on that deep breath and pause. So I'm hoping that some new perspective on things. I'm really living in the quote that I modified. It's not all mine. I am not what ails me. It is just a part of who I am. And then I added, I don't have to live that way. So just being inspired by people who've gone through events in their lives that have either put them in a wheelchair or made them blind or whatever, who have gone forward. They've set up support systems to help motivate them, to help them keep going, to help them to, I guess, rise above whatever they have, to go and live a full and rich life that they want to live, that their idea of that. Hey, Simon. And that's what I want for me. And I have always wanted that for me. I have that natural personality. So grief sort of shit-kicked that out of me for a while, but I'm really wanting to get back there. I have always wanted to get there. Ever since Kirk died, I have wanted to get back to me. And I'm just now in that place in my grief journey where I can actually embrace it, that I can embrace the changes. It won't always be easy. There will be hard moments, but life is getting better. If I remember, I may actually create a vision board for myself of plans, because every time I try to get things financially going in the right direction to get to Scotland, everything pops up. So, and it's things like that. So I get the vision board going, you know, get a travel vision board going, get a life board go, a health one, you know, just help focus. Anything that will help me focus while I'm dealing with all the in my head is good. So, as always, I am appreciative of all my followers and anyone who actually watches these videos from start to finish, because that's wonderful. You know, it's always nice when people do that. I know I matter without all you guys, but it just is very heartwarming and feels really, really good that you guys care. And so, yes, I'm very grateful for you, and thank you so much for being there. Because I really do love sharing all of this. And I am hoping that the forward movement will help actually, like, really grow the channel. I'm not sure how big I want this channel to be, because the bigger you get, the more pressure there is to perform. And I've watched some of the bigger YouTubers, they're taking breaks and recording less, because the strain of the balance between family and health, and sometimes the obnoxiousness that that can come from being on social media, so much trying to be a content creator does affect your health, and then it affects your family and your life and your lifestyle and all that kind of stuff. So, deep breath. So here's to finding balance in it all, and living in the positive, and things being grateful for, and moving forward no matter what, and there again being grateful that my strength of character can help me lift myself up enough to do all this. It's September is also Suicide Awareness Month, and so many people just hit that wall and can't. And there are no answers as to why, because each situation is different. It's just something that happens. It's something that, as good as we all are and as paying attention as we all can be, sometimes we just don't catch it, and it's unfortunate. And I think what I want, if I was going to put energy out there, is that people don't live in the question as to why it happened, what they could have done to stop it, but in the acceptance that it did happen, the freedom of being able to be angry at the person. That is not a accepted thing. There's just sort of this, we're not supposed to be angry at people for dying. And I think that is so wrong, because anger is one of the 7 steps of grief. But it's often the one that is least likely to get positive help with. And I don't think you can move into forgiveness until you go through anger and you figure out why you're angry at that person. I know with me, when it came to Kirk, the anger sparked a lot of depression. And when I didn't deal with why I was angry for him dying, I just was depressed all the time. And then I wasn't happy, and I quit doing stuff. And I find even now there's some stuff that it's still happening now. So it's important to, when somebody passes away, or you lose your job, or somebody does something to you that is harmful in your eyes, that it's all in all of that grief, those situations that create grief. We need to not only be sad, but we need to acknowledge the loneliness. We need to acknowledge any failures, and what they mean, and anger, and what the anger means. Because the positive side of all those is it solves the problem of why, for each of us, we feel gross, out of sorts with ourselves. Why we feel awful. And I know today's society isn't about that. It's about making ourselves feel good in the moment, being very impulsive. Credit cards and commercials and stores and all of that is all about appeasing our moods in the moment. It's that's what addiction's all about. The brain attaches whatever we're addicted to the pleasure centers of our brain, and then we live there because it feels much better to live in the happy than deal with the sad, the angry, the lonely, the frustrated, and the other stuff that makes us feel like garbage in our lives. So yes, I think it's better to take moments when we're feeling a little brave, because we all have that little bit of courage in our lives. And I borrow from friends their courage, and so I'm very grateful. Their courage has allowed me to really move forward and deal with the garbage parts of my life, and help me to make decisions that are best for me. So yes, this is what you're probably going to see, is me be slightly political and talk about thoughts, because I am a philosopher. It may be mystical, but I'm also a philosopher, and give my point of view on it. Being a smaller channel, and so I'll be able to skirt through for a while with my opinions on things, because I do not have popular opinions on things. I often stand in my ideas contrary to what is commonly known. It has lost me friends in the past, but I have to say what I believe is true. And then it's up to everybody out there to make their decisions of what they believe in. But I think there's a vast majority of people who need this truth, that it is okay to be angry about some situations. We are allowed to be angry about stuff, and to give that validation. Because while grieving with Kirk, there were some people who made it seem like none of my feelings weren't valid. And so therefore, it was very hard for me to validate their feelings. Because I felt injured and wronged, and as I've talked with some people, it was rightly so. I was injured and I was wronged and I was I was invalidated and that kind of thing. So that's confusing. That becomes confusing with the society. So I'll wrap up that that ramble because we're already at 35 minutes and not that I care how long my videos are. I know the shorter ones get watched more, but longer videos allow for more commercials. I know they're annoying, but more commercials potentially means in the future more money. Monetization is money for your videos. So that's the other thing is if I can crack the 1,000 subscribers, then I could get money, and it might only be $5 a month, but hey, it's $5. You know, I'll take it. I'll take it. Because $5 is a whole bunch of things in my world, including yarn. A movie, a DVD, tea and a donut at the Tim Hortons. Who knows? I put my $5 all together, and eventually I could have $100, you know, and then that's other things for this channel, you know, like $5 basically got me a light for my thing, which there's a health warning on the bottom. In there, you can't see it. It says on the bottom, warning cancer and reproductive harm. From the government of Canada. So, hey, sweetie. Bastion. I think that's Bastion up in there. So, anyways. So, I'm feeling ready to be back. Life is still good. Even with its not so good parts, and embracing me somewhere along the way. The person who I was before I lost Kirk no longer exists. Yes, it's Bastion up there because Morgana's down there. Yes, I lost her. I'm still her. Like, there's no multiple personalities or anything, which is good because I can't imagine what that's like living with that. I know I never mean to come off flippant about stuff. It's just how I talk. So please, you know, no errors in the comments, because yes, dealing with that kind of stuff is insane. It's hard enough with single personality for me to keep track of where my head is at and what I'm doing day to day. I couldn't imagine what it would be like to have alter egos that take over and do their thing and not have any memory of it. So yes, Suicide Awareness Month. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself. Take a moment and take a deep breath and reach out. Even if it turns out you don't get the help that you need, just keep reaching out. Find any reason to hang in there for yourself. And do it for yourself. Don't do it for anyone else. Because if you do it for yourself, the sideways of that is other people will appreciate your efforts, because we all matter. Isn't that right, Morgana? We all matter. Well, she thinks she does anyway. Her 15-year-old little self, my 3-year-old. It's 3 years in human, 15 in cat years. Meow, because it's 5 years for every year. For cats, not 7, and then for the next 5, for the first 5 years, and then after that it's the 7 years. So Cleo she's 9, so the first 5 years was 25, and then we got 4 more years. 4 times 7 is 28, and 28 and 25 is 53. Baby girl is now older than mommy. In all respects. The crone cat, her croniness is now 53. That explains some of her behavior. She definitely, my Calico Beauty Queen, is behaving like a middle-aged lady. And she's still herself, but you can definitely see she's moving on into that other stages of her life, which means in a few years she'll get nutty and batty and be behaving like Monkey, Morgana, and Bastion. I've seen it before in the older cats, where they just, I don't know, the brain slips out their ears and they just get the rips and the zoomies and wah-wahs and just, I'm crazy, pew, 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 and big eyes. So yes, so let's all take care of ourselves. 5 gratefuls, sunny autumn days, plants that are still alive, even though we had a frost warning here overnight. 5 wonderful cats who drive me nuts, that I can be appreciative that they're here to drive me nuts. Roof over my head. That's the other thing that's happened over this summer. The house is legally mine now. Everything is not quite settled. I keep forgetting to tell some people this, but yes, the house is mine. The cottage is mine. Mine, 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 mine. This is good. Dave, I'm grateful for Dave. We got a new vehicle, a newer vehicle. I say we because it affects me and I do use it for some of my needs. I don't drive, but it's nice that he brings me groceries. So yes, I'm grateful for Dave because he comes with a vehicular. That's 3, 4. I lost it. Yarn, we'll just do a few here. I'm grateful for yarn and candles and food and my life and my happiness. Okay. I'm proud of myself that I have been pretty good at keeping my resolution for this year, which was to be kinder to myself. I have slowed down. I have stopped if I've needed to do. I have stood up for myself. I have done some things that I've needed to do for myself. Physiotherapy wasn't working, so I quit that instead of forcing myself to go. Just went and did other things to help with my health issues to make my life easier. My physiotherapist gave me a bunch of exercises to which I do as I feel I need to do them, instead of trying to be in the headspace to go to an appointment. I just stopped the appointments. I didn't stop the physiotherapy. So I'm proud of myself for taking care of myself. I'm proud of myself for staying the course, for making decisions. I'm also proud of myself because I have been getting rid of some stuff. And some of it belonged to Kirk. So I'm proud of myself for moving forward. I'm proud of myself for sitting down and making the decision that it would be better for me, as much as I love to have plants and everything, to focus more on the landscaping to make it easier for me to garden than to in the future than to try and just force the issue, because I lost plants because I just wasn't in the place to be doing everything. I've got way too many projects and things on my plate to do. So now is, especially with autumn and winter coming, it's time to reassess, get focused on breaking things down into parts again, and get the part done, get that part done, and then get that part done. So if I don't finish the landscaping I want to do outside here, the weather starts getting nicer in February anyways. Excuse me. I should be able to dig in the dirt in March. The ground should be unfrozen. Can't plant anything yet, but that is potentially the perfect time to get the landscaping done for my garden beds so that when it's nice enough in June to plant, I can get it done. Because I really paid attention to this last summer, and with the way the heat and the storms and the smoke and everything going on, I spend most of summer feeling sick, like off. I don't feel good. Lots of migraines and that kind of thing. So where usually this is a big gardening time of season, it might just be a great summer, may just be the best time in the year for me to kick back and relax and just go pick my strawberries, maybe a little bit of weeding, but no major plans to sit there and dig in the dirt, because it really felt like work. And gardening should be relaxing, calm, and fun for me. So that's part of the change that has gone on with me, is rethinking how my year goes and which activities that I really enjoy doing in what season. You know, maybe winter is the better season for reading, or maybe if I'm not worried about digging and doing stuff, I will have time to sit and read in the summer just on a blanket and go relax, go lay in the sun a little bit and read my book. I miss that kinds of things. But if I'm constantly stressed out because I'm not getting out and I'm not getting this done and everything, I am not being kind to myself, and I am not getting stuff done because the stress is creating sideways health issues that are hindering me from getting things done. So yes, definitely proud. What makes me happy? Doing videos on YouTube. My pussycats always make me happy, and most of the time Dave and I create happiness together. We love to laugh together, so we have a similar dark sense of humor, so that's kind of cool. Dude is silly, which I encourage because I absolutely need that. Happiness is looking out the window and I saw blue jays today. Just seeing the birds and seeing my flowers, and when I'm having those moments when I look out in the yard and go, I know I haven't mowed and done stuff for a long time, but the yard actually doesn't look that bad. It's going to look a whole lot worse when I start taking shovels to it to dig up stuff. There'll be a lot of dirt holes everywhere. But yeah, that kind of thing makes me happy. Relaxing makes me happy. Dave hates the fish tank. Here, the fish tank. But I've discovered I actually do like fish. I just didn't want this many fish, so I've been thinking about ways to have fish in a smaller space, including smaller tank. I'm tired of the guppy breeding program that has happened over the long haul here, and if I had a smaller fish tank, it would open up the living room just that much more. So Space makes me happy. So I'm in the process today of creating, rearranging some stuff, things not getting out of boxes, etc., but just rearranging where I store stuff from the basement, so that gets cleaned up, and then I can rearrange and tidy up the basement. And in the process of doing that, I can find my stuff and things will be a little bit more organized, and I'll be able to breathe. So I'm glad that you could join me today. For those of you that joined me, I really appreciate that. Let's see. So those are my gratefuls. Those are my prouds, and those are my happies. You know, I know a lot of the therapy stuff, you write down 3 to 5 things you're grateful for, but go that extra step and write down what you're proud about, because there's got to be something, even if it's just you got out of bed today, you know, you fed yourself, you watched your favorite show, even though you didn't feel up to really doing anything. You took the time to watch your favorite show. You should be proud of yourself for that. I don't think we give ourselves pats on the back enough. Society is really not set up for that. Only if you do something super amazing, you know, that you get recognized. And yes, oh, absolutely, the super amazing things should get recognized. But in this day and age where it's so easy to live in the down in the dumps, pat yourself on your back for the small victories, because those small victories do pile up into a mountain of a big victory. And it's a great way to bust situational depression. And situational depression is a state where the situation is making you depressed. And if you weren't in that situation, you wouldn't be depressed. You might not be the happiest person in the world, but you wouldn't be depressed. So, and you would feel better about life and things. So that's what I've been working on, is working on getting out of situations, getting rid of the situations that create my depression, so that I can focus on what is really going on with myself. So that's creating boundaries for me with other people, and creating boundaries for me with myself. You know, often we might have great boundaries for others, but we just let ourselves do whatever, and it sets things up to cause problems. Like I did with a recent long-distance phone bill, was not paying attention, completely forgot what I was doing, and used the wrong phone. And I called long distance because it was a day I absolutely needed emotional support. And now I have this huge long-distance phone bill. I can't afford to pay it. It will get paid. It's just going to take some time. And that will take some money from some other things. And so I accept the consequences, because it's just something that happened. Milk that got spilled, but I got lots of paper towels, so I can clean it up. And that's what I call adulting, is taking responsibilities for actions and things that happen. Being a grown-up is that grumpy old person who has nothing happy to say. They just find things to complain about all the time. So that's different. Adults are happy, grown-ups are not. So, and because sometimes grown-ups aren't responsible, but adults are responsible. So that's where I divide the line. And on that note of being proud of myself and being grateful and philosophical and not mystical, we'll deal with that on another video, I will wrap it up, as we're coming up on an hour of me bibble babbling and making points. Again, thank you. And peace, love, and happiness. There will be pictures and stuff on the end of some projects. And until next time, goodbye from the cottage. See you later. Goodness, positive energy sent all your ways.